welcome you in this beautiful Tuesday evening to crown a champion in the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series here on iRacing. I'm Austin Edstrom, standing alongside Brian Britt, and as always, we've got Austin Derbyshire behind the production booth. We're in for a fantastic race here tonight as we've got Keegan Sabilo and Andrew Hale going head-to-head. 1 point separates them in the championship here tonight.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a nail biter. I gotta be honest. I mean, I don't know which one of these guys is gonna come home with the championship title after tonight, but I guarantee you one of them's gonna have to earn it, because this is gonna be a hard-fought race. 110 laps here at Las Vegas. I mean, I'm ready to roll some dice.
Yeah, and it's got to be a strategic race. We know bonus points could come into play here tonight, so even if you finish behind your competitor, you could gain points on them, so you never really know until after the checkered flag flies whether you're going to be the champion or not. You just got to make sure you play the entire race right, from the drop of the green flag to the checkered flag here. Points racing on iRacing is a bit of a beast, man. It's a strategic nightmare in some of these leagues with the different point scenarios, but you see the point gap at the top. Keegan Sabilo with a 1 point advantage over Andrew Hale coming into Las Vegas for the championship. I mean, you couldn't ask for more.
Yeah, that's for sure. And we even talked about it before the broadcast began, how weird last week's race was, where Sabilo finished a couple positions ahead of Hale, and somehow Hale actually gained points on Sabilo. So that's kind of a big question mark to me, and I think that puts a big question mark on tonight's race. You know, how can possibly Keegan or Andrew gain points and we not realize it?
Yeah, and another big storyline to pay attention to tonight. All 7 races this season in the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series have been won by 7 different drivers. So we're going for a perfect 8 for 8 on the season here tonight, but we're going to look in on the Google Earth view of the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, located in, you guessed it, Las Vegas, Nevada. Opened back in May of 1971. Taking a look at the 1.5 mile Motor Speedway. 9-degree banking on the front stretch. You can dip down to that lower banked apron there, get a good little cut on the dog leg, maybe get a little side draft before you get down to the turn number 1. 20 degrees of banking all the way around the corner. A lot of bumps on the bottom side of the racetrack and on the very top by the wall, so you just got to be careful. Then coming back down the back straightaway, it kind of levels a little bit more out, back to a pretty standard 9 degrees. Well, don't have my track facts right. And then going back into turns 3 and 4, back up to that 20-degree banking all the way around the corner. A little bit smoother than 1 and 2. You don't have to worry too much, but the bottom side's probably going to be preferred. But I imagine the side-by-side battling, the outside is going to prevail just with that momentum coming off the corner. But single file, you'll see him wrapping the bottom.
Yeah, this will be curious. I mean, I've heard it said from James Harris. Kind of talk. He's usually who I rely on about some of the details about the race, and he says it's going to be a lot of like a super speedway race. So of course, this is where we get into the keys to victory or keys to the race. Get with your friends. If this is going to be like a super speedway race, you're going to want to have buddies with you, that's for sure. And I know one of the keys that you kind of mentioned was trying to keep that left front clear, I think, to get some air on that nose. So that's going to be pretty important here. And of course, also it's going to be all about be ready to gamble, because this is Las Vegas. You're not going to get out of Vegas without some gambling here.
And you never know, you could get a late caution flag that could force some strategy calls down on pit road. We could see a 2-tire pick or a 2-tire stop going into the broadcast picks. I got my pick, Andrew Hale, second place in the championship. I'm looking to see him put up a fight for it here tonight. I think he's going to come away with the race win and the championship.
Well, I gotta go with the other person that has the best chance to win the title, which is Keegan Sabilo. I mean, last season he was the front runner all season long. I think this season he gets it done. He's been strong all season long. He's been consistent finish after consistent finish.
And Austin Derbyshire picking Nathan Meyer. The other of the top three qualifiers actually at the current moment, all 3 of those occupying the top 3 spots. And also, it looks like none of us think that we're going to get our 8th different winner here tonight. It looks like we're all betting on the against the streak continuing. So we're all betting on 7 being the different amount of winners here in the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series this year in 8 races. But we still got to actually run the race to find out. We could very well break that, or keep that streak going, excuse me. But we're going to take a little look at the schedule. Obviously tonight we got the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series. You're going to see us here not next week. We got a couple off weeks, but we'll be back in action a couple weeks from now. Tomorrow night we've got Thunderclap iRacing Series from Daytona. And then Friday, we've got the Ryko Performance Friday night NIS Top Split from Las Vegas, keeping up with that NIS Open schedule.
Yeah, definitely seems like you guys have been having a whole lot of fun, and I do believe we're going to have a special guest joining us up here in a moment.
Yeah, we're going to bring in the owner of the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series, James Harris, to talk to James for just a little bit. James, I'm going to hand the mic over to you here before the race starts.
Oh, hey. Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. I just wanted to give a quick thanks before this race gets started to all of our sponsors. Kevin Kirschner, Blackstone Management, Champion Power Equipment, Green Mountain Grills. We've had a long relationship with these guys, almost 4 years now. It's been an amazing ride, and it's going to keep going for many years, I hope, in the future. And I want to thank you guys at Grid Vision. What we do is only part of the show. You guys complete it with the graphics and the fantastic commentary you guys do. So I just want to thank you guys for what you do, and keep up the good work.
Well, thank you, James, for the compliments, and thank you for putting on a show every week out on the racetrack. It's much appreciated. It makes it very easy to call up here in the booth. So thank you for putting on a great show here in the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series.
Now if we can just end this bad luck, we'll be good to go.
Yeah, good luck. Make it 8 for 8. Prove us wrong here tonight, please.
I'm going to try. I'm going to try.
All righty. Good luck to James Harris here in the final race of the season here tonight. Going to run through our starting lineup. Andrew Hale lining up the front row. Championship contenders both occupying it with Keegan Sabilo on the outside. Nathan Meyer starting in 3rd place with George Young in 4th. Tyler Meeks in 5th. James Harris in 6th. John Lucido lining up in the 7th place position with Jeff Noe in 8th. Jason Taylor in 9th. And Brandon Ball rounds out the top 10.
Brad Thacker going to be starting in 11th place. William Mann Jr., last week's winner, he's starting in 12th. Robert Wynn in 13th. Ray Kennison in 14th. 15th, Dan Hillwig. So 15-car field here this evening. Isn't that interesting seeing Andrew Hale and Keegan Sabigo starting 1-2? This is I think pretty good sign of the race to come.
Well, I think it's safe to say they've probably put in the most practice this week, right? They've got the most to lose, so it kind of makes sense that our race picks and the championship contenders are lining up on the front row. I'm sure they've put a ton of laps out on this racetrack this week, even for their qualifying laps. So I'm not surprised to see them up there, and I think we're going to see them challenging up at the front of the race the entire thing. I mean, we might see a little bit of tire saving early that drops one of them back. We've seen that from Sabilo time and time again, by the way. That seems to be his tried and true strategy at the 1.5 miles. So we could see a little bit of that come into play here later.
Yeah, we know Hale's good on the long runs too, so I think this is going to be a straight-up fight when it comes to resources. Of course, we talked about this being kind of like a super speedway. I do think it is going to pay to try to save your resources, though. So there might be a little bit of lifting, a little bit of trying to keep that wheel as straight as possible. But we're going to see what are we going to see here. It's going to be curious. I think the pressure is on for these two drivers to win a championship, and a lot of other drivers are involved as well. There's a lot of variables.
Yeah, like I said, I think bonus points could come into play too. So you got to think they might be racing hard from the drop of the green flag just to get that lap led and prevent the other one from having it so early in the race. Could see a little bit of strategy come into play with different bonus points and whatnot. So lots to pay attention to in today's race, the championship race of the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series here on this beautiful Tuesday night at virtual Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Andrew Hale, Keegan Sabilo, 1-2 in the championship, 1-2 on the racetrack, leading us to green in the championship race.
Yeah, really good start there for Andrew Hale. He's able to get up through the gears. I think he's going to get clear to the top possible here. No. Looks like Sabilo is going to try to see if he can mount a charge here on the exit at turn 2. Not able to do so. Doesn't have a whole lot of help. He does not have a whole lot of help from George Young. It looks like the top two is going to be Andrew Hale and Nathan Meyer. Austin Derbyshire's pick, trying to come in here and make something happen.
I think we're going to see that inside line prevail all night on these restarts, and to see it work so well on the first restart, which Keegan Sabilo finally gets side by side with Andrew Hale. It's just going to be too little, too late. Andrew Hale's going to lead at the line, pick up that valuable bonus point on lap number 1, not have to worry about that for the rest of the event. I imagine he's going to be going for that most laps led though here towards the midway point if he can keep that truck up front and in front of Sabilo. But Sabilo going to the inside already, making a move down to the inside of Andrew Hale in the inside of turn 3 and 4.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that kind of move from Sabilo. I think that that's really, really way too aggressive this early. And this is a momentum racetrack. You really want to try to arc a lot of these corners. And if you do that right before the entrance to the corner, you're going to cut off a lot of the momentum that you're going to have in the corner.
Hey, he's got to stay in his head a little bit, though, right? He's got to keep up the pressure. He can't let Andrew Hale, think that he's a little off the pace, right? He's got to stay within Andrew Hale's grasp, and he's got to put that pressure on. So I kind of like that move from Sabilo in the early going. He's got to get that bonus point too, right? He's got to lead a lap at some point, but I do think he's going to go into tire conservation mode here in a couple laps.
Well, the thing is about it, I mean, we always talk about it week in and week out. The first 5 laps of a run are the most important time when it comes to tire conservation. So I don't know if I like that. I mean, I get what you're saying, maybe trying to throw a little intimidation the Fords way, but I feel like that's not going to be conducive to saving tire on the long run. So we'll see how that's going to play out. If Keegan will still be able to save tire, but here comes George Young. Big run from him on the high side as we cross the line for lap 5.
See, like right there, though, I feel like Sabilo could have pushed a lot harder through 3 and 4, but he backed off a good ways and just kind of gave George Young that outside groove. Did not even challenge him for the position, actually giving up 3rd place to James Harris. I think Sabilo's already into that mode. I think he knew he wasn't getting the lap led right now, so he's kind of dropping the parachute and calling it quits for now and just saving that right front tire.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think now he's probably realized that, hey, I'm not going to be able to make that charge for the lead right now.
Tyler Meeks, I believe, through the grass in the infield, way far back. It might have been a little bit further back than Tyler Meeks.
I think it was
gray
Brad
and yellow
Thacker,
truck going into turn 1.
I think that was actually the 56 of Brad Thacker. Looks like he saved it, though. He's still in the draft here. And I think everything's all right, well and good. We do have about
side by side.
James Harris trying to take the lead, and I think he's going to do it.
He just about had it into turn number 3, but Andrew Hale fights back on the inside. Still looking at the replay here on our screen, but Andrew Hale fighting to the inside back on James Harris.
That was a little bit of contact, I do believe, between Jeff Noe and Brad Thacker. That's what caused that little bit of an excursion through the grass. We got somebody's up in the wall. That's Jeff Noe. He's falling all the way back to last as a result.
Jeff Noe with an issue through 1 and 2, but we're still side by side for the race lead. James Harris pinches Andrew Hale down to the bottom of the racetrack through 3, gives him a little bit more of a groove there in turn 4. I think he maybe surprised himself that he pinched him down so far to the bottom of the racetrack. But James Harris fighting back with a push. I can't talk tonight. That's a terrible thing with this job, man. George Young pushing him through, going down into turn number 1. James Harris fighting back on the outside, trying to keep that position, trying to hold on to the lead here from Andrew Hale, trying to take it from him.
I really like what I'm seeing from Keegan. I mean, he's just kind of hanging out right now and watching all these guys battle. And Hale's rising to the occasion to try to battle with these guys. I don't know if I'd want to battle right now.
Yeah, I'd be worried that I would be burning my tire up a little bit, but he's going for track position over tire saving, I suppose. And it is a championship race. It's only 110 laps. It's not that long of a event. A little bit longer than I think we're used to actually in the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series, but in all seriousness, they're relatively short races most of the time. So still a short race here at Las Vegas. I don't think that, tire saving, I feel like we could have a couple cautions that could break this thing up and cause us to not have as many long runs. And we're seeing it right now with the front of the field racing so hard. Oh, we are definitely seeing it at the front of the field. James Harris gets turned in front, noses it into the outside wall. Ooh. Brad Thacker comes through and slams him up against the fence. Heavy damage.
Flag is out. James Harris has got to be incredibly disappointed after that. Luckily, these guys do have one fast repair, but what a hit.
Did I call that or did I call that?
You kind of did. I mean, I
said that a second before it happened, man.
Yeah, these guys do have some tires to play with and some fast repairs. So taking a look at the replay, it looks like George Young,
man,
just kind of got down into Brandon Ball a little bit.
Whew, that was some arc breaks I've ever seen him.
Sent him up into James Harris. So just bad luck for James Harris. Harris couldn't have done anything.
Yeah, James Harris having to use that fast repair here in the early going. And I did mention this is a longer race than we're normally accustomed to in the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series. So to use it this early, we're not even 15 laps into this event. It's 110 laps, and James Harris already on pit road using that fast repair. So got to be worried if you're the driver of the 55 if he wants to make it that perfect 8 for 8 on different winners of the season.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'm wondering if maybe George Young thought Ball was going to go below the apron, because one thing about Vegas is you can use that apron on the front stretch but I just don't think you should assume that someone's going to go down there. And I think George might have thought that, as we do have some some yellow flag stops here. Andrew Hale leading them down pit road.
Most everybody coming in. George Young staying on the racetrack. Couple drivers kind of debating it further back in the back of the pack. I think there's one other driver staying out. We've only got 3 sets of tires behind the pit lane, or behind the pit wall. So I'm a little shocked we're using them after 10 green flag laps. I'm looking at Andrew Hale, our race leader, to see if he uses any tires or if we're just in for a fuel stop. Stopped in the pit box for a little while. I don't see the right side coming up, though. Yeah, he's just away for fuel. Okay.
This is just fuel, everybody. And this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
I mean, looking at the fuel window was about 47 laps, 110 lap race. I mean, stopping right there makes a lot of sense. That makes the numbers work a little bit better for you. And of course, you don't want to burn that set of tires up. So this really makes a whole lot of sense. I think a lot of these guys, very wise decision. I think George Young is probably going to be sitting there like, man, I don't have enough gas, while everybody else will.
Well, it definitely helps because
some guys take tires though. I mean, Brad Thacker, 14 seconds. William Mann Jr. Some guys did.
It definitely helps because we had every single person come down to take fuel, so it's not like they're even going to be trapped behind anybody, right? It's just George Young up here, and he was quick anyway, so it's not going to really slow up the pack or really change anything like you would expect maybe a split decision would on a fuel stop like that.
Yeah, and I don't know how much the tires were really worn out. I mean, we didn't see a ton of fall off. I mean, 10-lap run is substantial. So I don't know. This is going to be curious. I think this is going to be answer a question when it comes to tire wear. The guys that did take tires, if it is, a big deal, then we're going to see them surge ahead to the front. If not, then it shouldn't be that big of a deal. So I'm definitely curious to see how this plays out. Pace car lights still on, though. Looks like we're going to be taking another pace lap around the racetrack. George Young, right now in the lead. I'm wondering if he got any damage, because I know he did touch Brandon Ball, which led to Ball hitting Harris.
I don't see any on the front end of that 48. It looks pretty clean to me. I'm looking at it pretty close, and I don't see anything. These trucks are pretty tanky though, so I'm not really too surprised. I mean, he didn't really take a big impact, so I think that he'll be good to go. I think he'll be able to race up here at the front, especially since nobody else took tires here, challenging him up for the lead. I think he'll be a-okay, and I mean, yeah, I don't see a scratch on that thing.
Yeah, no, he definitely looks fine. Definitely looks perfectly fine. So it must not have been substantial contact.
Isn't it funny? In real life and on the sim, it's the guy that starts the wreck that gets through completely clean.
Yeah, that's how it always is.
I mean, no hate to George Young. I mean, I've caused plenty of my own super speedway wrecks, and to be fair, most of them end up being the same story. If I'm the one turning somebody, I typically don't have any consequences. So, saw that play out a little bit here tonight.
So we got some. Looks like we got some more drivers popping back down pit road for just a moment. I do believe Jason Taylor and Robert Wynn. Pace car lights are out. Time to get back going.
I just have to point out, our producer said just be Canadian and have terrible net code so that you never get in any of the wrecks. And as he's saying it, he's lagging out and his mic is cutting in and out, in and out, in and out. I mean, perfect timing to prove a point. Poor Canadians. So my co-commentator would go along with the poor Canadians comment or something, but he left me high and dry right there. Unfortunate.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate. What could I expect from a South Carolina?
I'm not fun. I'm just not fun.
Just so sad, man. What happened to you? You used to be fun.
But it's definitely getting ready to be fun on this racetrack. You know that. This
for sure
has been fantastic. I mean, every race we've had has been just awesome. I know we're taking a week off. I can't wait to get started again.
George Young stacking up the field. I don't know what's happening. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off because that was a good little speech, because this has been really good. Champion Power Equipment has been phenomenal week in and week out, but George Young stopped in the middle of the field.
I hope Keegan Sabila just didn't get some damage on his front end, because, I mean, that was really odd.
Yeah, big stack up on the bottom lane. They're able to get it sorted out before we get out of turn number 4. Pace car pulls off on the exit of turn 4. George Young bringing us back to the green flag at Las Vegas.
Yeah, I don't know if George fell asleep or something for a second there, but green flag is back out. and George is underway. Side by side for second place. Here comes Sabilo. I know he was saving his equipment a little bit under that last run, but here comes the new challenger, John Lucido, up into fourth right now. We know this guy, he's a tough character to mess with.
He's been fighting up towards the front of the field week in, week out the last couple of weeks. Able to pick up a race victory at Daytona a couple of weeks ago, adding on to that perfect 7 for 7 list that we've got stacking up. But Keegan Sabilo trying to ruin that party, trying to spoil it from George Young here on the inside. But Andrew Hale, championship contender at Keegan Sabilo, pushes George Young on the outside of the racetrack, tries to prevent Keegan Sabilo from getting that bonus point for leading a lap, but it doesn't look like it's going to work out for him. Keegan Sabilo to the race lead off at turn number 2 at Las Vegas.
Yeah, this is probably for the best for Keegan. He wants this clean air because that's also going to be conducive to saving those front tires, as well as you can see John Lucido complicating things quite a bit for Andrew Hale. Side by side, very aggressive racing going on right now between Brad Thacker and Nathan Meyer. That's for the 5th place position.
Yeah, fighting back further. Back in the field, Andrew Hale, first side-by-side battle for that P3 position. Keegan Sabilo, John Lucido up in the top 2 spots. A little bit of a wave coming off at turn number 2. Everybody getting a little staggered coming out of the corner. Andrew Hale, George Young still side-by-side for that 3rd place spot. George Young fighting back on the outside while Tyler Meeks trying to follow him through.
Yeah, you could tell the 73 of Lucido's got a very strong truck right now. We're 3 wide, though. As you can see, James Harris, he's trying to work his way back into the fray, into the mix here, as he just jumps up into the top 5. Taking him 3 wide in the middle. This is a little bit scary. He does not have a faster pair left, ladies and gentlemen. Remember that.
Yeah, it said Tyler Meeks a moment ago, but it was actually James Harris, and like you mentioned, no faster pair coming from the back of the pack, all over our championship leaders' back bumper. Both of them coming out of turn number 4. Keegan Sabilo gets a little sideways, coming out, able to save it. Andrew Hale giving him plenty of space here on the bottom side of the racetrack. But James Harris is not. He is shoving that 77 down into the corner.
Yeah, Harris means business. I mean, you really can't blame him. He's come so close to winning a race. I mean, every race we've seen him in, he's been incredibly close to going to victory lane, and it just never seems to work out. The luck has been just terrible for the 55, as he looks really loose, though, coming off a 4.
Lucido holding on to the race lead, but Keegan Sabilo takes it back as James Harris pushes him down into turn number 1. Keegan Sabilo ducks down to the bottom of the racetrack, giving that clean air to the 55 on the outside, and he is using it, going around the outside of the 77, coming off of turn number 2. James Harris just continued that run. He was shoving the 77 lap after lap. 77 ducks down, and the 55 keeps on chugging. Able to take the race lead, and the 56, that's John Thacker way out on the outside. I got to imagine he's used his faster pair too. They might have also taken tires, I got to say. They were involved in that accident. They might have been the only ones in the field to take tires, and that could be why they're charging to the front.
You know, that's actually a really good point, Austin. I'm glad you said that because you're exactly right. James Harris spent 14 seconds in his box. Brad Thacker as well. So that is usually a pretty good sign that they did take tires, and we were wondering if they were going to matter that much. But it does seem like that's the case. I mean, looking at lap times, I mean, they are faster by 0.2 at least than the other drivers.
Yeah, and that's whenever they were having to come through the field. Now they've got the clean air. You got to think they're just going to pull away for a couple laps unless one of them just really, really burned up their stuff getting through the pack. Maybe they could fall off towards the end of this run, but I think they're going to pull away here over the course of the next couple laps unless they get to fighting.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they're really going to pull away. They could. They very well could, but, I mean, the draft is going to somewhat equalize things, but I don't know. I mean, you might be exactly right because you do see that Harris and Thacker are starting to pull away, but that's not something I would want to do at a track like this. Pulling away usually equals I'm burning my tires up more, and that means I'll probably end up equalizing with the drivers that are further back in the field.
Well, yeah, on even tires, absolutely, but they do have 10-lap fresher tires, so it could just be that they've just got better tire life right now, and they're just able to not push and still pull away just off of tire life. So at this point, I think their only worry is that they're down a tire set now. I mean, we were already really, really limited for a 110-lap race, only 3 sets behind the pit wall. They've only got 2 for 100 laps.
Oh, Nathan Meyer, as he gets loose, what a save. Tyler Meeks, though, goes around.
Oh, hard into the outside wall, multiple drivers involved. Jason Taylor going down, hitting the inside wall. Tyler Meeks saving it, but I believe he got involved in the main one that went up into the outside fence. 5 drivers or so involved going down into turn number 1. I was just about to say the top 2 do not want to caution because they don't want this tire cycle to continue. They just want it, or they don't want the changing of tires to keep happening. You see Andrew Hale kind of coming down on Nathan Meyer, expecting him to go a little bit lower, while Nathan was holding a little bit wider line from the white line, and you see the big pile up entering turn number 1. 6 drivers going down into the corner, 2 down in the bottom, 4 up to the top. But if everybody comes down to pit to do that fuel strategy again, do we have some people come in and take tires now? And do we have some people that still haven't taken any at all? Do they continue to continue their strategy to save a set for an entire fuel run? You know, I feel like this really opens up the strategy. I can't talk tonight. That's terrible. Strategy door in a ton of ways.
Look at this. That was pretty interesting. The accident there. Taylor and Wynn almost had that missed, and unfortunately just barely got caught. And that's what sent the 15 into the inside wall. No, I think the guys that did not take tires on that last stop, they're taking tires this time. I mean, I think they would be silly if they didn't. They want to hang the 55 and the 56 kind of out a little bit. That's what I would do. I mean, 3 sets doesn't sound like a lot, but I mean, I feel like they're in a good place to use them now.
We're going to use this opportunity to send it to our first commercial break of the evening. Stick around for more championship action in the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series Championship race with James Harris heading us up on the restart with John Thacker on his outside. The only 2 on older tires. They took a set under the first caution. Everybody else didn't, but this time by everybody else did. The 2 championship contenders line up in row number 2. James Harris leading us back to the green flag.
Yeah, really great start for James Harris. Not so much of a great start for Brad Thacker. And guess who's right behind Brad Thacker? Keegan Sabilo. Sabilo kind of got a little bit of some bad luck having to start behind the 56. I don't know if he started in the wrong gear, but this has allowed James Harris to just drive away at the moment. Of course, he's being followed by Andrew Hale. This could have been a stroke of luck for Hale.
Yeah, I was about to say, you were talking about it cost him a lot of time to James Harris. The main thing is it's costing him time to Andrew Hale, who's on his same tire strategy. Andrew Hale being the main championship contender, he cannot have Hale leading every single lap of this first stint.
Yeah, of course, Hale is a little bit on or is on the same tires as most of the drivers out here, but Harris is on a little bit of a disadvantage, and I think that might have also been the problem for Thacker there, because both of those drivers were the ones that were on the newer tires in that last stint. But it looks like Harris is able to hold on so far as we start, I do believe, lap 30 here.
Yeah, I think Harris is able to hold on because his tires are still relatively new. They've still got some grip in them, so he's able to hold that bottom line relatively well. If Andrew Hale really, really wanted to, he could power by on that outside groove, just absolutely abuse his tires and get by the 55, but then that would just leave him as a sitting duck to his championship contender later on in this stint. So I think we're seeing Andrew Hale playing it a little bit more smart, just riding the bottom side behind James Harris and not abusing those things. And he's going to know that James Harris is going to slip up at some point with the older tires.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Hale's probably just taking it easy. And you know, I really don't blame him. I think that's smart. But here comes Hale thinking about going high. Of course, he's going to have to contend with John Lucido, and Lucido is going to put a lot of pressure on the four. We know Lucido wants to win.
And we saw it coming out of turn 2. He got right up on the 4 of Andrew Hale's back bumper coming out of turn number 2 and just kind of air pushed him up to the top of the racetrack. Oh man, really pushes him up on the exit of turn number 4 as well. John Lucido coming through, trying to take the race lead. He's on the freshest tires now out of everybody, or sorry, all of the front runners up in P2. Highest running of all those, I should say. But coming out of turn number 2, John Lucido trying to pick up that run coming out of the corner on James Harris. Not quite able to do it. Doesn't get the run that he needs to challenge into 3.
Yeah, we're seeing on 3 wide battling going on further back as well. I see Keegan Sabila trying to hold off Nathan Meyer and Tyler Meeks. You see Jason Taylor trying to enter the fray. Brandon Ball. I mean, there's a lot of things that could go wrong outside of the top 5. These guys are aggressively trying to work their way forward.
Yeah, everybody but Andrew Hale and Keegan Sabilo, they're just kind of holding stationary. They're not really pushing the limits right now. You can tell that they're racing on a different level than everybody else. Everybody else is kind of in go, go, go mode like it's a regular race, because to everybody else it is a regular race. But for Andrew Hale and Keegan Sabilo, they just seem to be running the race a little bit smarter, a little bit slower. Andrew Hale, though, getting loose off of turn number 4. Now they're 3 wide to the championship contenders. Keegan Sabilo able to get ahead of Andrew Hale. Still seeing them race hard, but I still feel like they're racing smart.
Sabilo last time by was one of the fastest. He was the fastest car on the track that time by. It's almost like he just flipped a switch. So I think that he definitely knows that, hey, I got to get serious. I got to race this forward with everything I have right now, as they're side-by-side still for the lead and side-by-side for the championship effectively.
Oh, John Lucido, James Harris getting really, really close coming out of turn number 4. Widening out that gap coming up to the start-finish line, and then getting down into turn number 1. Lucido, James Harris, wide berth getting down into the corner. Lucido hard on the gas through the center, trying to keep up with that 55 on the outside. Coming out of turn number 2, really tight. Just about contact between the two, racing for the lead. Nothing between the two going down into 3. I mean, hard side-by-side racing all throughout the pack, and we've still got 80 laps to go.
Yeah, they're definitely not taking it easy, that's for sure. You could tell these guys want to get as much track position as they can. Lucido looking really good on that bottom side. He looks real smooth. I don't know what I don't like going down there on that apron on the front stretch. I think that burns the tires up a little bit more than you probably want to. So we'll see how that affects the 73. Harris, of course, using that top side. Vegas always known for being able to have that middle to top groove kind of work a little bit better. We'll see how it works on the long run. They're almost touching coming off of 4.
Yeah, and I think we're seeing James Harris fight so hard because he's on those older tires. As soon as he loses that clean air, he's going to drop like a rock. So he's trying to hold on to it for as long as possible. Try not to give Andrew Hale or John Lucido an inch up here fighting for that top spot. So I think we're just seeing James Harris fighting for his life, trying to keep that clean air on the front end of that Champion Power Equipment truck.
No, I think you're exactly right. And I'm surprised he's doing as well as he is. I mean, of course, he's not on the older or too old of tires compared to the other guys, but he still is at somewhat of a disadvantage. And I think you're right. As soon as the clean air goes away from him, his handling will go away. I think the clean air in a lot of ways is what's holding him up right now on this pedestal, as he is still side by side for the lead. You can tell Andrew Hale, though, trying to make something happen. I've been incredibly impressed with Brandon Ball this season. That 17 has looked really good.
Yeah, you never know. Talking about the fight for the race lead with James Harris, you never know if he could catch a caution, right? He could catch a caution at the right point and put him back on the correct tire strategy while he's still up in the top 5. So as long as he can hold on up here, the better for him. But the problem, John Lucido has finally gotten clear of James Harris, who put up a great effort on the outside, but he just could not hold on to John Lucido's relentless new tires coming through. Lucido able to clear the front bumper of the 55 coming out of turn 2, leading laps in the 73.
Yeah, I know Lucido's got to be really happy about that. He's able to run the whole track, which is going to be important when it comes to saving tire. But I don't know. It looks like, I don't know. I think Lucido's starting to have problems holding the bottom, or maybe he just wants to run that middle groove. As Andrew Hale now goes side by side with the 55. And let's see if what you said was true. Does the 55 start to fall back? And I think we're already even seeing that.
Yeah, he's back to 4th already, and I think Nathan Meyer's going to come through and take 5th away from him here in not too long. Or sorry, 4th away from him here in not too long. So I think he's going to be dropping pretty hard. And you got to think, too, with him running so hard at the front of the field, he was running his tires really, really hard. So not only has he lost the clean air, but he's rubbed all of the good out of those Goodyear Eagles.
Yeah, so he's going to be, like you were saying, probably hoping for some sort of caution as we see Nathan Meyer able to get by. Looking at James Harris's lap time, 31.566 versus the drivers around him are hitting 31.4. So that's a big difference in lap time as you see Sabilo now trying to see if he can size up to 55.
Sabilo trying to take that spot away as the 55 is just fading back to the back of the pack, back to 6th place now as Keegan Sabilo goes by Jason Taylor following him through on the inside. Just sucks for James Harris. You know, I mean, it sucks because he didn't really put himself in this position. He got taken out by somebody else's mistake, and he had to waste his fast repair, and now he's just completely off cycle with the race leaders.
Yeah, and of course, Brandon Ball is starting to put a lot of pressure on John Lucido right now for this lead, as well as you got Nathan Meyer turned the fastest lap last time by. That I think he might have something as well for the top 3. You could tell the 24, it's got a lot of speed, and usually that Crown Royal machine does have speed at these kind of tracks.
Yeah, we've seen Nathan Meyer get progressively better and better over the course of the last 2 seasons. I mean, I believe at the beginning of last season we didn't talk about Nathan Meyer too much, and progressively towards the end, I believe we got a couple interviews, and then this season he has been a consistent contender up for the lead. A couple races that I think he should have won, finally broke through just a couple weeks ago. So I feel like Nathan Meyer is one of the guys that are going to be consistent contenders going forward, and he's looking to end the season on a high here at Vegas.
No, I definitely think you're right. I definitely think the 24, you know, he would probably be one of the drivers I'd put up on the list of who could have won multiple races this season. I mean, he had one race to where I do believe he messed up on pit road. If he hadn't done that, I think he would have won that race.
Well, there was the Michigan race where he came from almost blowing pit road, his pit box, and come up to challenge for the lead, takes P2 away, and then gets turned by Andrew Hale at Michigan, going down into turn number 1. So put that one on the board too. I feel like there's just multiple that the 24 might have given away here this year, or gotten taken away.
Put him, and that could have put him in a contention, I do believe, for the championship. But I do believe he's missed some races as well. But here comes the 4, Andrew Hale to the inside of the 17, side by side for now 2nd place. Hale making the move. And a little bit loose off of 4.
He made contact with Brandon Ball. They hit a little bit coming out of turn number 4. Nervy moment there for a championship. Well, if you look at the live standings, he'd be championship leader up here fighting for that 2nd place position side by side with Ball. But Nathan Meyer kind of coming into the fray here, coming on at turn number 2. John Lucido still leading the way, just a little ways up the road. Only a 10th separates 1 and 2 currently, going down into turn number 3.
Yeah, and I thought this was going to be a lot more like a super speedway race, but looking at the lap times, fall off has become a huge factor. I mean, 31.5 from most of these drivers out here on the racetrack, 31.6, 31.7. Hale actually turned to 31.7. These guys at their fastest were hitting 30.8. I mean, that's almost a second of fall off already. I mean, that's a lot.
In Las Vegas can tear up tires, man, and here in the truck you can just get super, super tight going down into the corner and just cannot get the thing to rotate as we see Brandon Ball there entering just a little shallow and washing up to the top side of the racetrack. Maybe giving Andrew Hale a chance to get at him at the front straightaway, getting a huge run coming out of turn number 4. Andrew Hale trying to take that second place spot. He had to fend off a challenge for the third place spot from Nathan Meyer just a lap ago. Now trying to fight back on the outside of Brandon Ball. The Ball had a really good 1 and 2 there, able to come off the corner and actually close the gap to Lucido a little bit.
Yeah, Hale seems like he's really liking that middle to top groove in 1 and 2. Seems like he gets a good run. He's doing it in 3 and 4 as well. So he has started moving up the racetrack. And I'm wondering, yeah, that might be because the truck's just not turning. But he seems like he's making pretty good speed up there, though.
Just a little nervy looking at the right front going through the corner. It just looked like it was sliding up the racetrack, like he was tearing up that right front tire. I would just be a little bit worried if I was an Andrew Hale fan. He's doing it again in 2. Maybe that's the natural push of the truck, but I'm just seeing everybody else able to hold it down lower coming out of the corners, and it just really worries me for the 4.
Lap time wise, I mean, he's not looking bad. I mean, 31.62 versus everybody around him. I mean, he's been faster.
Lap times wouldn't look bad yet, but man, that right front tire is going to be hurting in a couple laps.
Yeah, that's true, but that's definitely true.
Sorry,
I'd
be worried, man.
They're about 24 laps into the stint. And yeah, you would probably want to go. I don't know when would you have to pit if you have to pit. I mean, you're not going to be able to make it on green, or under green here. You're going to have to pit at some point. When do you pit? I mean, especially look at. I mean, he's definitely got to be burning his stuff up. That's something I think a lot of these drivers is surprising them in quite a bit. Is that their tire life is not lasting as much as they thought it was.
Heck, do we still have to take 2 pit stops? We last pitted on lap 26. We've got 110 laps, and we're not running 100% fuel tank. So I think we've got 2 pit stops in us. So I think we're going to run this thing as far as the fuel tank will take us.
And that's 47 laps, from what I've been told. So I think they would be able to make it.
Oh, okay. They
another
could
20 so laps.
Ooh. Oh, then that would be right on the edge of a 1 stop. I mean, we'd be cutting it pretty close. If it was, I think it's easily a 1 stop. My mistake. Easily a 1 stop.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just wondering when. Like, I mean, with tire wear being as significant as it is, I think this is going to make that decision very valuable. And I think that comes down to our third key of the race is knowing when to gamble.
I think the pit window opens at lap 62, like you can make it to the end starting at lap number 62, but I think that'll mean that we'll probably start seeing pit stops around 65, 66, but I think we'll see the big bulk around 69 or 70.
I'll tell you who's starting to come alive right now, Keegan Sabilo. Lap time-wise, 31.565 versus the guys in front of him. He's like 0.2 faster right now. 77 is coming. He's the fastest on the track right now.
And we see this time and time again from him at the 1.5 miles, man. We don't even doubt it anymore because we've just seen it so many times. Keegan Sabilo, tire saver extraordinaire at the 1.5 miles with that right front tire. As soon as we get a lick of a long run, he starts storming back up towards the front of the pack, and we're getting that long green flag run that he yearns for coming through 1 and 2. Starting to see that back bumper of Andrew Hale come into his vision. Just 1 truck ahead going down into turn number 3. And not too far ahead either. He is running them down.
Yeah, no, they're struggling. I mean, you could tell Hale is struggling, and because Meyer keeps putting a lot of pressure on him. And we also know, I do believe the 24 and the 4 have some history. We've seen them, I do believe, have issues on the racetrack. So I would not be surprised to see that ugly history kind of come show its face again here as Hale tries to get a run up here on Ball.
I would hope not, because it is the championship race. You got to have a little bit more respect. But I think that we'll see it pretty clean between them, if nothing else, because Andrew Hale knows that he's got to play it smart, right? He can't put himself in any dangerous situations. He's not really racing everybody else here tonight. He is racing Keegan Sabilo, and he's got to get that in his mind as well at some point tonight, just to make sure he doesn't make a mistake with somebody that maybe he's angered in the past, like Nathan Meyer, who is charging him down, trying to get to the outside of Brandon Ball for that 3rd place position. Andrew Hale has cleared himself into P2, trying to run down John Lucido, but Lucido's done a good job leading lap after lap for the past, 20 laps?
Yeah, no, Lucido's actually looked really good. I mean, he's got about a 3 or 4 tenths of a second lead right now. If he can keep that up, we'll see. I mean, definitely looking really good, though. I really like what I've been seeing from the 73. Seems like he's got the pace to maybe get something done here. Last time by, he was a little bit slower than the guys behind him. So I don't know. I mean, it's really hard to pace yourself when you're out in front. But Ball, I'll tell you, is struggling really hard right now. He was one I thought had race winning pace, but it seems like his long run, his longevity does not seem to be holding up. 32.1 last time by, slowest lap on the track.
Yeah, Ball's starting to struggle. Keegan Sabilo starting to thrive coming through out of turn number 4. For that 4th place spot, Sabilo has ran him down. Brandon Ball just really, really struggling. Fought himself up to that P2 position. Didn't get the caution that he needed before the tires started falling off. And now he's paying the price for running them just a little too hard here in the early going. Keegan Sabilo trying to make the move out of 2. Brandon Ball gets tight. Pushed it just a little bit too much on that old right front tire. Put himself into the fence. Gives up another spot to Jason Taylor.
Yeah, it looks like I think he's okay. He didn't get a whole lot of damage. Maybe a few scrapes. But, I mean, you know, Brandon's, oh, wow, a little bit more than just a little bit of scrapes. That's 17, so almost scrubbed completely off there. But it looks like he's still out there running, though, so hopefully he'll be able to keep that going. I mean, Tyler Meeks is going to catch up to him quite quickly, I'd say, but Ball definitely needs to kind of try to stop the bleeding here.
He's got a big gap after that, so he just really needs to back off a couple corners, really, for I don't know, maybe even 10 laps. Just back it off. Don't even fight Tyler Meeks. Just focus on saving that right front tire. Do not do anything. Do not push. And hold on to it because he's got a big gap behind him. So if he could calm the temperature down in the right front, save it for a handful of laps, he could absolutely hold on to this spot and hope for a caution.
Tell you what, the racing is definitely heated up for 2nd place. Hale was catching up quite quickly to Lucido, but something has caused him to go the other way. And now Myers has really been putting a whole lot of pressure on the back of that 4. And eventually here comes Sabilo. I mean, this top 5 is getting hot right now when it comes to the battling.
It kind of seems like the top 5 is all accordioning back together, right? Everybody kind of is coming back together based on how hard they saved. Lucido might have pushed the most out of these guys, so he was up front. And now he's starting to fall off a little bit. Andrew Hale's just a little bit quicker. Nathan Meyer a little bit quicker. Sabilo and Jason Taylor a little bit quicker as well, all running each other back down. So we could get a nice little 5-way battle for the lead right as green flag pit stops start.
Yeah, definitely could for sure have that happen. And I think green flag pit stops are going to be quite soon as well. I don't know who's going to be the first to kind of kick it off, but fall off has gotten really, really bad for these drivers. I mean, we're seeing over a second of fall off now. I'm wondering, I think Brandon Ball will probably be one of the first I'd see go down pit road.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be tough to really predict out of these top 5. I think one of these top 5 is going to be a trendsetter, I do believe.
The only thing, if you're Brandon Ball, you know you've ran this set of tires off, you're worried that if you put on the other ones too quickly, you're going to do the same thing, and you're just going to be stuck at the end of the race. So
yeah.
It's a little bit of a nervy situation for him, and he's got that damage on the right side. Not too bad. I don't think I saw any bent sheet metal or anything, so I think he's all right, but still a little bit of scrubbing on the right side of that 17. But I think you're right. I think he's going to be probably the first one to hit pit road, especially out of this main group. He's now kind of finding himself in no man's land here in the middle. I think it would be smart for him to come down pit road first.
Yeah, I'm really concerned about the top 5. Who's going to be the one that comes down in this top 5? They all are very, very close on speed. Last time by, Jason Taylor was the fastest out of the top 5. Very impressed with the 15. I mean, I know he earlier, I do believe, had a really bad loose spell, was involved in that crash, hit the inside wall, used his fast repair, and he is doing fantastic since that happened. I mean, the 15, one of the fastest trucks out here right now. I think he's got speed to be able to make something happen, too.
It's just weird, though. I feel like everybody in the top 5 here, they'll get like a good run and maybe look like they're going to challenge somebody, and then they're just not even able to make a move out of it. Like, I feel like Andrew Hale has gotten a run coming out of turn 2 a couple times on Lucido, and it looks like he's going to be able to carry enough momentum down the back straightaway to make a move. And nothing ever happens out of it. Lucido's getting enough momentum coming out of the corner, or I don't know if it's just because the tires are old and nobody's able to generate a big enough run through the corners, but it's just kind of stagnating here in the top 5.
I think that's exactly what it is. I think a lot of it has a lot to do with kind of cooling the tires back down. It seems like, you know, you heat them up a little bit, let them cool back down, and you're fast again. But you're just not really able to make that move, as we do have a battle going on for that 4th place position. Jason Taylor trying to take the spot from the 77. Well, I think he's going to be successful. Maybe not. The 77 able to stay high on him. But there's a little bit of battling going on right here.
Andrew Hale almost wrecked it off of turn 2 also. I mean, that would have been terrible story coming to just a little bit past the halfway point, being in the championship race and you binning it off of turn number 2. Still has a fast repair in his back pocket, but it was a little nervy moment as we've got the side-by-side battle you were mentioning for fourth. Keegan Sabilo, the other championship contender, side-by-side with Jason Taylor. Taylor trying to get through this time in 1 and 2, trying to make it stick, slide up in front of the 77, moving up through 1 and 2, but he just clears himself over the nose of Keegan Sabilo. Sabilo might have lifted there for a little bit of race preservation, but he kind of dives him back on the inside in 3.
Yeah, and you got to understand how probably frustrated the 77 is in this situation. It's like, why am I having to race this 15? Of course, the 15 has every right to be able to race the 77, but the 77's like, hey, you're holding me back from getting up there and racing my true competition, the one I'm going for the title. But, you know, like I said, these guys have the right to race. Even though they're not going for a championship, they're still going for precious momentum, glory, if you will.
Yeah, they're still in it to win it, even if you're not in the championship hunt. Just like John Lacido up at the front, trying to be the only 2-time winner. Might not be the champion after this season, but trying to make a name for yourself, right? You know, if you're the only one that's won 2 races, you kind of got to pound your chest a little bit, stick it out, be like, hey, man, maybe I'm the guy to beat for the next season. John Lacido trying to prove that point here tonight.
And he's doing a fantastic job at it. I mean, he's running really good laps. I mean, Hale doesn't have enough to really get around him here. So, no, I got to really give a lot of credit to the 73 of Lacido. I mean, he showed that this season was his breakout. Here he comes to pit road. Wow, what a trendsetter. The leader starting off pit stops.
Yeah, it's rare that I see the leader come down first. Typically, you wait to see whenever everybody else comes down and you get the newer tires. But I feel like Lacido's proved that clean air is probably more important. So he's coming down a little bit early. Lacido being the first of the leaders. Keegan Sabilo also following him in. Again, I guess they value clean air a little bit more than the new tires. And to be fair, from what I've seen, especially over the last 20 or so laps, I don't blame them. I think it's a good call.
I really like Sabilo's call here. I feel like this is with the fall off being over a second. I mean, he might be able to gain quite a bit of distance on the racetrack here. But and what an answer from the other drivers. You see Andrew Hale, Meyer, all coming down pit road as well. Taylor. So as soon as they came down, they were like, okay, we're coming down the next lap. I mean, that's the only response you can really have to green flag pit stops like that.
Yeah, especially if you're Andrew Hale, who saw Keegan Sabilo come down pit road. He knew that he had to answer as soon as he saw the 77 come down. He had the position on the racetrack, but it'll be interesting to see how the leaders come out on the racetrack after pit stops, and also how Sabilo and Hale come out, because depending on how many trucks are between them, that could honestly decide the champion.
Oh yeah, and another thing that could decide the championship is just the amount of pressure that these guys have to perform well on pit road. I mean, anything could go wrong, with a green flag pit stop. You could speed, and that could ruin your championship hopes. Look at that. Sabilo was able to leapfrog Andrew Hale, and of course, Sabilo and Lacido are now in the midst of a fight, so that kind of helps in a way. But man, look at the performance on pit road from Nathan Meyer. He was able to really do a fantastic job on pit road. Wow.
Holy crap, Nathan Meyer pitting a lap later, so has the freshest tires in the field and comes out side by side with our race leader. John Lacido now with a hard challenge from Nathan Meyer out of nowhere. Oh man, taps the apron just a little bit. The 24 does. Comes back up on the racetrack side, drafts the 73 going down into 3. On the new tires, trying to get that clean air as soon as possible. John Lacido chops his nose into the corner, takes the race lead. Nathan Meyer with the dirty air going through the corner, gets a little tight, has to lift. John Lacido going to be the leader at the line.
Meyer is, in a way, helping out Hale because he kind of slowed these two down. That brings the 4, into the fray with the 77. I mean, look at that. They are closing in on one another quickly. Hale getting a massive run up to the back of the 77.
And I got to say, that 77 is tire saving huge. And he is going to try to hold up Hale and force him to use his tires as much as possible just to even out that 1 lap difference that they have between their sets of tires. And at least that's what I would do. I feel like that's got to be what Sabilo's thinking right now. Just make this as difficult as possible on Hale, but don't wear your stuff out. It's going to be tough, but if he can do that, man, that's going to be the difference in the champion.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. You really want to try to put as many obstacles as you can in between the 4 and getting by me. I mean, I'm not going to make it easy, that's for sure. And the 77 has a real-life experience. So
ooh,
one. The one is loose. I think he's going to make it off the track.
Yeah, Jeff No made contact with Andrew Hale coming through 3 and 4. Got a little swirly coming off the corner. Got down to the apron, pulled it down to pit road. Got to be able to keep this thing green. And we're going to go under our last commercial break. We're going to bring you the last 30 laps. Commercial free.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series Championship race, where we've got a side-by-side battle for the race lead and for the championship. Nathan Meyer to the inside of John Lucido coming out of turn number 4. 28 laps to go at the line. And then right behind him, Keegan Sabilo loses out on that P3 position behind Andrew Hale. That's the championship spot right there between those two as they're just about 3 wide entering the corner. But Andrew Hale way up the racetrack, opens up the door, back up on the bottom of the racetrack to Keegan Sabilo. They're side by side once again, and they're banging for the race lead. Nathan Meyer off down to the bottom of the racetrack, gathers it up, but loses out to John Lucido.
Yeah, I think this is going to get physical before it's all said and done. You can tell Lucido and Meyer don't seem like they're racing each other very nicely right now. Lucido is definitely trying to pinch the 24 to where he cannot get runs. But here comes 24. He's like, I'm going to try something different. I'll go to the top if you're not going to let me try to have the bottom here.
Yeah, I think he realizes that top might be the preferred groove when passing, and he gets there. He gets to the right rear of the 73, trying to take it away. He's got one lap fresher tires. Then John Lucido now stuck down on the bottom of the racetrack. He's got Andrew Hale wrapping the top side with him, can give him a push down the straightaway. Nathan Meyer trying to take it from John Lucido. They're side by side at the stripe. John Lucido that time by just a couple thousandths of a second, make it 6. Nathan Meyer in second, trying to take it away.
Yeah, and Hale trying to, as calmly as he can, follow the 24. I think they're somewhat working together here because Hale knows he has to have some sort of friends out here. He's got to run with this 24 to try to put as many cars in between him and the 77 as he possibly can, as they are still racing incredibly hard for the lead. At a moment's notice, things could change quite quickly.
Yeah, and at a moment's notice, Andrew Hale could make this thing 3 wide down the front straightaway. I just want to point out. He could have done it that last time by, but he thought better of it. And that's going to open the door back up to Keegan Sabilo. They keep trading this third place spot while they're side by side for the race lead. The leaders can't figure it out. And the guys in third just keep swapping it back and forth. John Lucido trying to fight back to the bottom of Nathan Meyer. They just cannot get this thing sorted as Nathan Meyer still fighting back there close. Almost touching out at turn number 4, but Meyer gets the run. Also comes down, gets side drafted by the 73 down the front straightaway. Still nothing between these two, just bumper to bumper down into 1.
And this has brought the 15 and Jason Taylor into this battle as well. I would not be surprised if we see Tyler Meeks come into the fray here. We do have some lap traffic further ahead as well. As you can see, the 77 just ducks in. I think he wants to let the 4 battle. I mean, we know the 77's MO, Keegan Sabilo, is always about saving tire. And Hale was just like, I got to get out from behind these guys. They are just, they're just, they're roadblocks in a lot of ways for these champions. Hopefuls.
Hale feels boxed in for sure right now. I mean, he's got absolutely nowhere to go. He feels like he's got a faster truck, but he also doesn't want to abuse it. He doesn't want to just tear that right front tire to shreds and hand over the championship to the 77, but he also doesn't want to sit still, sit stagnant, allow the 77 to be right on his back bumper whenever he knows that Keegan Sabilo is known for his long run ability, and we're shaping up for a long one to end this thing.
Yeah, I do believe coming up to less than 20 to go here very soon. 22 laps to go at the moment, and they are still side by side for the lead. They've been side by side for the last 10 laps. Oh, as Lucido gets a little bit tight on the door of the 24. Speaking of Tyler Meeks earlier, he has now entered the fray. He's now trying to battle with the 15.
Well, let me just mention somebody who's about to enter the fray. James Harris. Remember, he was on those older tires than everybody else on that entire green flag run, and he had to wait until the very end after he had dropped all the way to the back of the pack to be able to pit and get on the same cycle as these guys. Well, guess what? He's within a second of the race lead in 7th place. He's run down the lead pack as they've been side by side battling hard for that race lead, slowing each other down every time down the front stretch. James Harris has been closing in.
Yeah.
While they're side by side racing for the lead, we're going to talk to you about an equally exciting partner of ours here in the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series, and that's Green Mountain Grills. Introducing the Green Mountain Grill, where innovation meets flavor and your grilling experience reaches new heights. Are you tired of the same old grilling routine? Elevate your barbecue game with Green Mountain Grills, the ultimate choice for enthusiasts who crave precision, performance, and mouth-watering results. Why choose a Green Mountain Grill? Well, it's because of their smart control technology, versatile cooking options, quality craftsmanship, wood-fired flavor, and they are easy to use and easy to clean. Ready to transform your outdoor cooking experience? Choose Green Mountain Grill, where every meal is an adventure and every bite is a masterpiece. Upgrade your grilling game today. My goodness. Visit www.greenmountaingrills.com. Thank you to Green Mountain Grills for sponsoring the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series. We got Nathan Meyer to the inside of John Lucido, swapping back the lead once again. Nathan Meyer was on the outside. Now back down to the inside of the racetrack. Andrew Hale trying to squeeze up on the outside in a side-by-side battle.
Yeah, Meyer was trying to close that door, and unfortunately Hale was already there. And Sabilo, these guys are desperate. You could just tell that they know time is running out. That hourglass is starting to go, down here. As Hale throws a little bit of a hip check, if you will, to the 77. Almost sends him down off the racetrack. But, of course, Sabilo able to continue to have the momentum. This is getting complicated here on this racetrack. I think anything could happen. I don't know. I think we could end up possibly having a caution if these guys continue to escalate.
Yeah, they were racing hard for the lead, and they were escalating it. They just kept it rising and rising the intensity level, but Nathan Meyer's finally fallen off the race leader's back bumper, kind of having to cool off the front tires of that thing. I think he's just pushed it a little hard over the course of the last couple of laps on the outside of the racetrack. Maybe just biding his time now, saving it. He knows he's got a lap fresher tire, so he knows that he can get the advantage back on the 73. He's just got to take care of it. He's still got plenty of time to get back side by side with John Lucido.
Yeah, I got to say, I'm really impressed with the 73. He's been running really, really good here tonight at Vegas. I mean, it's just looked incredibly fast. I mean, he's led the most laps, I do believe, here tonight. And I know a lot of these drivers are going to want to try to take that lead from him. I mean, you could tell, you can almost just looking at the truck there, Nathan Meyer, he clearly wants to win this race.
Yeah, Meyer trying to get around him, trying to be the only two-time winner on the season. John Lucido trying to do the same. Andrew Hale also in that conversation, but he's more focused on that championship battle with the driver right behind him, Keegan Sabilo. They're going to be battling for that third-place position, it seems. I feel like Hale's just going to kind of play it smart, not abuse his tires coming down to the end of this thing. Maybe a couple guys might start hoping for a caution in a couple laps. We might start seeing a little bit of fall off from some guys that might have pushed a little bit hard early in this thing, coming down to 16 laps to go. But it's all looking good up at the front of the field so far. Not really breaking up too much. Sabilo falling off of Andrew Hill just a little bit, but I think that's all the plan for the 77. As we're finally side by side once again for the lead.
Yeah, Meyer is definitely pushing hard to get past this 73, and this has been a battle all race long. Here comes Hale. He says, I'm going to take him 3 wide. Ooh, they are getting close. You can tell the 73 does not want to give any room to the 24. And this could end up with that that dreaded yellow flag. If these guys do not calm down a little bit here, you can tell the 73, oh, chops his nose. Woo.
Oh, Sabilo
into the wall.
It looked like he was reacting to Andrew Hill, who got a little slow on the straightaway, but up at the front, Nathan Meyer tried to put the moves on Sabilo. Sabilo ran him all the way up to the fence through the front straightaway and just kind of took his lane away coming out of turn number 2, able to keep that race lead. 14 laps to go. Nathan Meyer has to mount another charge. Keegan Sabilo thinking the same thing right behind Andrew Hale for that third place spot.
Well, I mean, he can see the trophy. I mean, and he can see it falling away right now. That trophy is getting further and further and further away right now. So Sabilo is probably feeling that sense of desperation. Hale is just probably counting the laps like, please let me finish this race right now.
Well, and Sabilo's got to be nervous. He's got a Andrew Hale teammate right behind him in Jason Taylor. And Jason Taylor is going to put his nose where his nose probably shouldn't be with his teammate being right up there, just trying to put off Sabilo, trying to slow him down through the corner. We saw there Sabilo drove it in a little deep, a little narrow, trying to avoid the 15 and kind of cost himself on exit. I feel like we're going to see the 77 struggle here since he's in that sandwich for that third place spot.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. I mean, the 15 is putting some pressure on the 77, and who could blame the 15? I mean, he wants to help his teammate Andrew Hale win a title, and if a little bit of intimidation can help with that, why not? As we see the 4 go to the inside of the 24, battling for the second place position, coming up to 10 laps to go.
And they were racing hard back there. Jason Taylor just got by Keegan Sabilo, going to make it even tougher for the 77. Like you said, coming to 10 to go. Now he's got to pass 2 of them to be able to win this championship. He's going to have to get really lucky on the bonus points if he wants any chance now, being 2 spots behind Andrew Hale. But with the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series, you never really know what you're going to get. We've seen unbelievably hectic finishes this season, and I imagine we're in for more of the same here tonight at Las Vegas with 6 cars under a blanket down the back straightaway.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is quite complicated. I don't think Nathan Meyer's too happy with Lucido. I mean, with the way he's been kind of cutting his nose off and stuff like that, I would not be surprised we see a little bit of bumping and grinding here. And you can see that the 24 is not giving a whole lot of room to the back bumper of the 73. I think he's going to get physical.
He's trying to get to the outside, not going to quite be able to do it through the center of the corner. Lucido's going to take the nose away coming out of the corner once again. Nathan Meyer, though, does get that run to the inside, able to side draft the 73. Very important going down to the turn 3. Slow that 73 down a little bit. Runs him up, way up the racetrack, trying to run the 73 out of the groove. Nathan Meyer coming through on the inside. Does he clear Lucido coming out? Oh, he chops his nose off through the center. Lucido tries the cutback move. He gets pushed up the racetrack. Lucido saves it, going back to about 5th place beside Keegan Sabilo. John Lucido from 1st to 5th in the drop of a hat.
Yeah, this is not out of the woods yet. You can see Lucido is desperately, aggressively trying to hold on to positions here, and he is kind of endangering the 77 here. Sabilo probably like, I would please don't wreck me. You can just tell the intensity, the attitude of the field has changed quickly.
Could end up being heartbreak for John Lucido, but could be triumph for Nathan Meyer. Not too far behind Andrew Hale, challenging 7 laps to go in the championship race here in the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series. It's been a good one. Nathan Meyer trying to be the first 2-time winner here tonight. It looks like it's going to be that way. The only one up in the front pack that has not won a race is Tyler Meeks back in that 6th place spot. Very back of the pack. Lucido into the back bumper of Keegan Sabilo through 3 and 4, able to hold on to it, but now he's in that side-by-side battle with Tyler Meeks. Meeks trying to make it work around the outside as we take 6 to go. Andrew Hale ducking down to the inside of Nathan Meyer. I thought he might be content just riding in 2nd place. Maybe taking the championship away from Keegan Sabilo, but he might not be confident on the bonus points either. He might be thinking that he may need to pass Nathan Meyer for the championship.
Yeah, it could be that. I don't think Nathan Myers is going to give it up, though. I mean, we saw how aggressive the 24 was willing to be in order to try to get by the 73. And Jason Taylor, I mean, he's in this battle as well. He has looked incredibly good here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And if the 4 and the 24 get to battling hard enough, that could bring the 15 into a chance at a victory.
Yeah, we've seen the 15 be quick at a couple racetracks this year. We got that elusive victory at Talladega, and it looks like he's going to be ending the year off right up here in that top 3 spot on the podium positions with a pretty healthy lead over Sabilo for that 3rd place spot. So it's looking like Jason Taylor might be coming up to the booth, and he might be able to challenge for this lead, like you mentioned, if Andrew Hale races the 24 of Nathan Meyer hard. But I still just don't know. I don't know if Andrew Hale is going to be content with 2nd or if he's going to be worried about those bonus points.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if Hale was smart, I think he'd be trying to relax a little bit here because, I mean, I think he's in the money right now. I think he's got the championship pretty much locked up if he just stays where he's at. But I don't think he's a racer, Austin, and you know all about racers. Racers are not content with 2nd place. They want to win. I don't think bonus points have anything to do with it. I think he just wants to win.
Yeah, racers aren't content with 2nd, and racers aren't content with 5th. John Lucido just about took out Sabilo coming out of turn number 4. Tyler Meeks coming down pit road here with 3 laps to go. Might have been a little bit short on fuel, pitting from that 6th place position. Going to put a damper on Tyler Meeks' hopes here tonight. Nathan Meyer leading the way still, coming to 2 laps to go, but Andrew Hale's right on that back bumper entering turn 3.
Yeah, it is definitely getting interesting here. Can Hale mount a charge? Can he do something against this 24? I mean, these two have history, as we've talked about before, as they enter turn 1 and 2. And you could tell I think Meyer looks a little nervous. I mean, I got to be honest. I mean, just the body language of that truck. He probably knows that, hey, me and Hale, we have a little bit of history. Is Hale willing to use the bumper to move him out of the way?
The 24 looking a little nervous. The 4 looking to win a championship. Coming to the white flag in the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series season. Who is it gonna be? Who's gonna win the race? Who's gonna win the championship? Nathan Meyer around turns 1 and 2. Andrew Hale looking high. Trying to get that run coming out of turn number 2. Gets a pretty good draft down the back straightaway. Pulls out to the bottom. Just kind of deking Nathan Meyer a little bit down towards the back straightaway. Dives down into the bottom of 3 and 4. Nathan Meyer chops off the nose. They make contact through 3 and 4. Andrew Hale going to hit him again towards the exit of the corner. Not able to get there. Turns back to the bottom of the track. Nathan Meyer throws the block. Nathan Meyer comes through to win the race. And Andrew Hale comes through to win the championship in the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series.
And that was a dogfight for that race win right there. I mean, Andrew Hale was clearly trying his everything really to try to get Meyer. But Meyer was not going to be denied. He held on to that win. And what a race victory for the 24. And what a championship earned for the 4. You could tell the Bass Pro 4 shaking his machine. Definitely excited. As you see the 73, I think came up to give a little bit of a congratulatory bump to the 24.
Might have been a more of a I'm frustrated with you bump since
Well,
Nathan Meyer
maybe.
bumped him out of the way earlier.
Well, I'm sure
But-
they were both frustrated with each other. I mean,
That's a great point. But Nathan Meyer is going to be the one smiling at the end of the night, bringing home the checkered flag in the final race of the season, breaking the perfect 8-for-8 streak. Unfortunate we couldn't get that one. But we're going to go into our final commercial break of the evening. Sorry, now we're going to go through our official results. That's what we do right after that. That makes more sense. Nathan Meyer brings home the race win. Andrew Hale brings home the championship. Jason Taylor brings home a third-place finish with Keegan Sabilo in fourth, John Lucido fifth, James Harrison sixth. Brandon Paul ends up finishing in 7th place. George Young in 8th place, Ray Kennison in 9th, and John Thacker in 10th. William Mann Jr. finishes in 11th with Tyler Meeks in 12th, Dan Hulawig in 13th, Jeff No in 14th, and Robert Wynn in 15th. Now we're going to go to a commercial break. Right after this, we're going to talk to our top 3 finishers and our champion, Andrew Hale. Stick with us. First. Welcome back to the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series Championship race from Las Vegas. We just had a thriller. Nathan Meyer brings home the checkered flag over Andrew Hale, and Andrew Hale brings home that elusive championship over Keegan Sabilo here at Las Vegas. We're going to talk to our top 3 finishers, especially since one of them happened to be the champion this season. We're going to talk to Jason Taylor up first. Hey, Jason, do you have a copy, buddy?
I got you, man.
Well, Jason, man, we thought you might have been able to mount a charge at the end, riding in that 3rd place spot. What was running through your head knowing you had a teammate in front of you who needed the points? Were you kind of content running 3rd, or were you really, really pushing for that race victory?
I tell you what, I was really trying to get it, and then I started getting kind of tight right there at the end, and I wasn't sure that if I got inside of Andrew, I could get by him, and then I was worried about the 77 getting back to us. So, you know, he helped me win Talladega, so I decided at that point, I said I'm not going to force the issue and potentially screw up the championship for him. That's important to both of us. So I'm happy, man. It was a good race. I think we had a truck that could win it. I just was a little slow. Like, everybody's just wide open. I don't know where I was losing speed for the first 10 laps of the run, and then after that, I could really start reeling it back in. So really excited. Good year. I'm a little angry about the whole getting dropped at Daytona deal. My cable on my computer was going bad, and I felt like I could have won Daytona, and I definitely should have won Atlanta, but Thacker had a lapse of, I don't know what he was doing there, but took me out coming to the line. A great season. I don't know where I ended up in points. I may be 3rd, but pretty excited.
Yeah, great cap to your incredibly consistent season, bringing home your first win of your Champion Power Equipment Truck Series career. So congratulations to you on a heck of a season the entire way through. Congrats on the 3rd place finish here tonight. And are there any shout outs that you can get for us here at the end of this?
Once again, thank you guys. Great coverage. Thank James for always putting on a great series. I'm really excited for next season to get started, and Champion Power Equipment always helping us out and everything. They've always been a great sponsor, so I appreciate all that. But just a great season. I see now I did get 3rd in points too, so that's my best point finish. So good night.
Well, congrats on a career best finish in the season points. Congrats on a career first victory this season, and congrats on a 3rd place finish here tonight. Jason Taylor, looking forward to seeing you next season.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it, man. Y'all have a good night.
All right, that was our third place finisher, Jason Taylor. Next up, Brian Britton is going to be standing by with our race winner, Nathan Meyer.
Nathan, definitely fantastic performance here tonight. It seemed like you were, racing pretty hard there with the 73 for quite a bit of times. I mean, how hard was it to get by to make that pass for the lead?
Yeah, it was really hard. You know, when you get those old tires, it's really hard to get a run. You kind of have to just wait till they have to lift in a corner and you get the run, and at the end you hopefully get to their outside. And then I was able to, and I kind of pinched him down as soon as I got by him, but he was doing the same to me for 20 laps. So, but we got it done after getting wrecked by the same guy yet again.
Yeah, but you got it done. You got the victory here, and you're actually the only driver, I do believe, that has gotten a repeat win this season. So in a way, that's a lot like winning a championship.
Yeah, definitely feels good. I think I would have been in the hunt. I missed like 2 or 3 races this year from traveling. So I'm excited for next year, and hopefully, we'll be up there again.
So definitely going to be hoping to try to go for the title next season, because I think you got what it takes. I mean, you clearly have been in contention every time you showed up.
Yeah, it's a good group of guys. I think we're all on an even playing field. There's like 10 of us that could win any week, and that kind of showed out throughout the season. So yeah, definitely looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun.
All right, Nathan. Well, definitely fantastic win here at Las Vegas. We look forward to seeing what you could do next season for sure. And definitely was a hard-fought one. I know Andrew Hale coming towards that checkered flag. It seemed like that was it didn't seem like he was going to lay down. It didn't seem like you were going to lay down either. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for doing this, and thank you for James and Green Mountain Grills champion for putting this on.
Anybody else we can shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, just my dad again. Final season, put it on there. This is one of the tracks we've been to together, so it was really good.
Well, that's awesome, man, that you're able to get that victory in his memory and in his honor. But thanks for your time, Nathan.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
All right, that was Nathan Meyer, driver of the 24, winner of tonight's race.
Next up, we're going to talk to our champion of the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series. We're going to talk to Andrew Hale. Andrew, heck of a race from you tonight to be able to hold on to that championship, take the championship lead, and wrap it up over Keegan Sabila tonight. What was running through your mind over the last couple of laps?
I didn't want to bump the 24 because I got into it with him through the dog leg there at the beginning. That was totally accident. I feel like he came up a little bit as I was coming down a little bit, did a little bump. But I took the blame for it, He was in front of me. But I was just trying to hang on that right rear and pull him back a little bit. But championship-wise, when I started, I was like, this ain't nothing but another race. And then halfway, I was like, damn, the 77's still right beside me. And we started front row together, which was a coincidence. Yeah, and then Jason got between us there, and he's like, I'm just gonna race him. If he passes me, he passes me. If not, it's not. I think if we would have tied, he would have had to win because he had better finishes. From what I remember anyway. But it was fun. Me, I just started out as another race, but it started getting to me there in the middle. Probably like 40 to go, right when we did that caution.
Coming to the checkered flag. Sorry, coming to the checkered flag, were you nervous at all about potential bonus points, or did you know that, man, you had locked it up? And what was your reaction whenever you knew for sure?
I knew coming in I was one behind him, so I needed either him fall right behind me to tie it, or have a car between us to win it by 1. I talked to Harris because I thought it was 2 points per spot, but it's 1. So I was like, all right, that makes it a little easier. But yeah, Jason, we sort of worked together there in Discord. He followed in behind me and rode in front of him. It gets really aero tight. That's why I couldn't pass anybody. It was like if I went low, they went low. I tried to run up a little bit, they would run up a little bit and just get aero tight off. But I had a run there at the end, and I feel like the 24 sort of chopped me. I lifted and let him. Didn't want to wreck him, but I gave him a little bump. He got wiggly, and we come to the line.
Well, congratulations on winning the championship, Andrew. I mean, you put on a heck of a show all season long. able to come through with a race win on the season and a championship victory as well. So got to feel good for you going off into the off season. A little tiny off season we have. It's hard to even call it that, but congrats on the championship. Are there any shout outs you can give here before we close out this season?
I'd like to thank James for going through all the process of putting these on. Champion Power Equipment for helping him. Jason Taylor for on the big races like these, basically super speedways, helping me out with pit strategy and all that. I'm really a short track guy. There was a lot of speedway racing in this season, but me and him teamed up at Talladega and got him a win. I won at Richmond, which was a short track, so I won't be here next season. I got kids have t-ball and softball, so I will be in and out. So if I see a race I can make, I'll make it. If not, I'll just race to win.
Well, congrats again, once again, Andrew. Looking forward to having you back again next season.
I don't know if you heard him, but he just said he's not going to be here next season.
I completely blacked out. That is my. I understand the silence now. What a way to cap off the season. Chaotic season, chaotic in the booth. Nothing can be too surprising here in the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series. But Brian, what are your final thoughts on the championship race here tonight from Las Vegas?
Well, it was a good race. I mean, definitely was on the edge of my seat. Not sure what was going to happen. I thought we were going to have a caution or something there towards the end, but those guys really kept it clean and green, and they were really able to just settle it out. And the best man won the championship, I'd say. And I think Keegan's going to look back at this season and say, hey, what could I have done differently? There's going to be a lot of drivers, I think, that are going to look back at this season and think about what they could have done differently. One good thing about Champion Power Equipment is we're just going to re-rack them and re-stack them and go right back racing in just a couple weeks.
Yep, just a couple weeks time. We're going to head into our schedule just so you guys know what we got on offer for you for the rest of the week. Tomorrow night, we've got the Thunderclap iRacing Series from Daytona, kicking off the season down on the beaches in Florida. And then on Friday night, you're going to be right back here in Las Vegas. Going to fly you back across the country for the Ryco Performance. Friday night, NIS Top Split, 8 o'clock Eastern. As always, we're going to be calling every single one of those every single Friday night of the season. Be there or be square. That's going to do it for us for the season for the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Champion Power Equipment, Green Mountain Grills, and Blackstone Management Partners. For everybody at Grid Vision, including Brian Britt and Austin Derbyshire, who joined me here tonight, I'm Austin Edstrom. Thank you for joining us for the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series.